Good morning, students. In our previous class, we discussed about atomic radius, how it changes along the groups and periods, and even the factors which affects atomic radius also we discussed. Now, coming to the second periodic property, ionization potential or ionization energy. About that also we discussed in the last class. Means what is ionization energy, or what is the difference between first ionization energy and second ionization energy, or for a particular element if they give first, second and third ionization energies, which value is higher, everything we discussed with the reason also, right? I hope you all remembered all this. Before holidays we discussed. So if they give the three ionization energies, ionization first and second, third, if they give, which value is a large value? Always third ionization energy is more than second ionization energy, and the second one is always higher than first ionization energy. Okay? Even coming to the variation of this ionization potential along the groups and periods. Before that, we already started one topic, that is the factors affecting ionization potential. Okay? Out of the different factors which are affecting ionization potential, we already discussed about atomic radius in the last class. As what we discussed, atomic radius or the atomic size of an element is inversely proportional to ionization potential value. Okay? So smaller the size, higher will be the ionization potential. Okay? About this already we discussed. Now let us discuss from the second factor which affects ionization potential. That is nuclear charge. Okay? The factor which affects the ionization potential, out of that the second one is nuclear charge. Even regarding the atomic size concept, we discussed about the effect of this nuclear charge, right? Because for an element, if the nuclear charge is more, what happens? This nucleus attracts these outermost electrons very effectively towards it. Okay? Means the electron present in this valence shell is strongly held by the nucleus. Okay? So when the electron is strongly held by the nucleus, to remove this electron, we need to apply high amount of energy. Okay? So when nuclear charge is more, the effect of the nucleus on the outermost orbit is more. So the electron is strongly held by the nucleus. Therefore, it requires high amount of energy to remove. Okay? In a simple manner, note down in the notes, the nuclear charge of the atom is directly proportional to ionization energy. Okay? So as the ionization energy increases, as the nuclear charge increases, ionization energy also increases. Okay? Regarding atomic radius, we discussed one point. In periods from left to right, what is happening? Remember or not? In the periods, means all the elements have same number of shells. And as we moving from left to right, atomic number increasing, so number of protons increases. Indirectly nuclear charge increases. So as the nuclear charge increases from left to right, ionization energy also increases. Okay? So instead of nuclear, okay, write it as even from the above you can understand, as the nuclear charge increases, ionization potential value also increases. Okay? Note all this. This atomic radius and the nuclear charge we already discussed. Okay? Even in the atomic radius concept also, Now coming to the third factor, it is somewhat new to you and somewhat difficult to understand. That is screening or shielding effect. Okay, screening or shielding effect. I think from the name we get some clarity, but somewhat difficult to understand. But once if we get clarity, it will be easy to apply, right? Let's observe this one. First, let us focus on what is meant by screening effect or shielding effect. To understand that, let's look at this side. For example, an atom is having these number of shells. Okay? So this is the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, and let it be our electron is in the fourth orbit. Okay? So this is the nucleus. Okay? Now we know that this nucleus is attracting the electrons in this first orbit as well as second orbit and the third orbit, as well as it attracts on the fourth orbit also. Okay? Now my question is, on which electron the effect of nucleus is more? Nothing but in which case the electron will be attracted strongly by the nucleus. It is very easy to answer that. The electrons which are closer to the nucleus will be strongly attracted by the nucleus, right? So as you are moving away from the nucleus, okay, the effect of nucleus will be decreases. Further, the main reason is, one thing, the distance is increasing. So if the distance increases, what happens? What happens when the distance increases? The effect of nucleus generally decreases. That is what we already discussed in atomic radius concept. Okay? So along with the distance, there is one more factor which affects the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron. That is a screening effect. It is mainly because of the inner electrons present in the atom. Okay? The electron is in the fourth orbit. The electron is in fourth orbit means already the electrons in first, second, third orbits are completely filled. Okay? So, the effect of nucleus on this electron, okay, will be decreases due to presence of these inner electrons, because these inner electrons act as a shield or they act as a screen between the outermost electron onto the nucleus. Okay? Understood the concept or not? Here the inner electrons means the electrons present in the inner shells will be act like a screen between nucleus and the outermost electron. Due to that, the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron will be decreases. Okay? This effect is known as screening effect or shielding effect. Okay? Very easy to understand also, because in practically also we know that one. For example, between you and me, there, for example, when you are sitting in the first bench, there will be no screen between the lecturer and to the student. For example, if you are in that last bench, what happens? Whatever the students present in between this particular lecturer to the last student, there are many rows are there. So these students will be act like a screen between the nucleus and to the outermost electron. Okay? So because of these more screens, what happens? The effect of this nucleus on the outermost electron will be decreases. Okay? So that decrease in the effect of nucleus on the outermost orbit due to presence of inner electrons is known as screening effect or shielding effect. Okay? Note down in the notes clearly. The decrease in the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron. Okay, the decrease in the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron. Reason what? Due to presence of inner electrons is known as screening effect or shielding effect. Okay, screening or shielding effect means the decrease in the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron due to presence of the inner electrons. Okay, because they act like a screen between nucleus and to the outermost. So that effect is known as a screening effect. Okay, so definition wise this is okay, but here we need to know how screening effect affects the ionization potential. Okay, so first note down this definition. Now our question is, when screening effect is more, what about ionization potential value? Okay, so how these two are related, let us see. Screening effect and ionization potential. How these two are related? Directly proportional or indirectly proportional? Okay, let us see. For example, when screening effect is more, okay, because more number of shells are there, so more number of electrons will be present, so more will be screening effect. Okay, so when screening effect is more, the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron will be less. Okay, when the effect of nucleus is less, it will be easy to remove the electron, right? So when shielding effect is more, ionization potential will be less. Okay, so screening effect and ionization potential are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, got the logic or not? When screening effect is more, ionization potential is less. So let us take another example to understand. I have taken another atom. Okay, what is the difference between the two atoms? Here there are three number of inner shells are there, but in this case there is only one inner shell. Now what about the screening effect? When compared to this one, here the screening effect is less because less number of inner shells are present, so less number of electrons are there to screen. Okay, when less is the screening effect, more is the effect of nucleus on the outermost orbit. Okay, so nucleus attracts the electron very strongly towards it. Then what happens? It requires more amount of energy to remove the electron. Okay, so that is why screening effect is inversely proportional to ionization potential. Okay, now we need to know when the screening effect is more. As we all know that between the last bench and the particular teacher, if more number of students are there, more will be screening effect. If less number of students are there, less will be screening effect. So in the same way, the screening effect is proportional to number of inner electrons. Okay, so So more number of inner electrons are present, more will be the screening effect. Okay, that is simple, easy to understand. But there is one more complication. When the electron is present in different orbitals, like subshells, it will have different screening effect. Okay. For example, in the same shell, the electron may be present in s orbital, p or d or f orbital. Okay. So out of these four orbitals, in which case the screening effect is more. Okay. On what base we can say? In what way these subshells are different? We know they are different due to their shape, right? Because shape of this s orbital is spherical, p is a dumbbell. Okay. The double dumbbell on about these shapes we already discussed in atomic structure lesson. You have clarity about the shapes. Okay. Spherical means how it will be present. It will be present completely around the nucleus. Okay. So when it is present completely around the nucleus, its shielding effect is more when compared to p orbital. Okay. Because the electrons present in the s orbital have more screening effect. Means they protects more when compared to the electrons present in p orbitals. Right. Because the shape of the s orbital is spherical. So in all the dimensions, it protects the outermost electron from the nucleus. Okay. But coming to p, p means what we will write? Either it may be px, py or pz. Means these two loops are present only along a particular axis. Okay. So when the electron is present in the px orbital, it protects the outermost electron only in the direction along the x-axis only. Okay, not three-dimensionally. Got the logic or not? But coming to S, it is spherical, so completely around the nucleus. So in all possible directions, it protects the outermost electron from the nucleus. Okay, so the power of shielding effect is more in the case of s orbital compared to p, compared to d and f. Okay, here regarding this, some of you may get doubt. Sir, s orbital means only 2 electrons, d orbital means 10 electrons. So more the electrons means more screening effect. Okay, so somebody may get doubt like that. Understood my question or not? Here I am saying, it's generally, in general also we know that more the number of inner electrons, more will be shielding effect. But coming to a particular orbital, what we are saying? The electrons present in s orbital has more screening effect compared to b and p and d. Okay, even f also. So our doubt is, sir, d orbital contains 10 electrons, but s contains only 2. How can you say s orbital is having more screening effect, right? Here, regarding atomic structure lesson, when we are discussing about the subshell and orbital, you don't confuse. D orbital is different from D subshell. Okay? A D subshell means its capacity is 10 electrons. But any orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons. Got the point or not? Whether it is a D orbital or F orbital or a P orbital, any orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons. Okay? Then what is 14? 14 is the capacity of F subshell. Okay? 10 is the capacity of D subshell. 6 is capacity of P subshell. But the capacity of any orbital is only 2 electrons. Okay? So the screening effect of these orbitals is based on the shape and the orientation of the orbital. Right? So while copying in the notes, you highlight this point. Due to the shape and the orientation of orbitals, their screening effect is, this is the order. Okay, the main reason for this order is their shape and orientation. Okay, because of the spherical shape, S orbital is having more screening effect than P, than D, than F. Okay, note down. Right. So till now we discussed about three factors which affecting the ionization potential. But coming to competitive exam point of view, based on screening effect and nuclear charge, we can measure the effective nuclear charge. Okay, effective nuclear charge means the effect of nucleus on the outermost electron. We can calculate. Okay. Normally in the NEET examination, they are not asking these type of questions. But coming to KCET examination or previously in the AIMS or AFMC exams or even like JEE also, they asked questions based on measuring, means calculating the effect of nuclear charge. Okay? Because mostly in the case of NEET, they are asking simple theoretical questions based on this topic. Okay? But previously in the AIMS and AFMC, they asked to calculate the amount of nuclear charge. Okay? So let us discuss that one also. So keep the subheading. Calculation of effective nuclear charge. And Slater's rule. Okay, now we are going to discuss about calculation of effective nuclear charge under Slater's rule. Here, effective nuclear charge is generally represented with the symbol Z effective. Okay, effective nuclear charge is represented with the symbol Z effective. So the formula to calculate Z effective is a simple formula. Z effective is equals to atomic number. Atomic number symbol what am Z minus screening constant. Okay, the screening constant is represented with the symbol sigma. Okay, so this finally the formula simple way we can write it as Z effective is nothing but Z minus sigma. Okay, so here by looking at the formula to calculate the effective nuclear charge, Z atomic number of the element, everyone know about that one. Now here the new term is sigma, where sigma means what? Screening constant. Okay, so here we need to focus on finding or calculating the sigma, screening constant. Okay, how to calculate screening constant is given by Slater. In terms of few rules he given. So those rules are termed as Slater's rules. Okay, as starting I mentioned, so but generally up to NEET level they are not asking, but when they want to ask typical questions, because they already asked in AIMS and AFMC, so we should be ready to answer these type of questions also. Okay, so let us focus on first what are Slater's rules. Easy rules only, don't think too many rules. Okay, so first let us note down these Slater's rules. First of all, these Slater's rules are for what? Sclatter's rules are used to calculate sigma. Okay, these rules are used to calculate screening constant. Okay, we are telling that the inner electrons will shield the outermost electron. Okay, how much they protect, okay, or how much they screen is calculated using a screening constant. Okay, so regarding the calculation of screening constant, we need to follow some rules. So first look at those rules. Coming to the first rule, note down in the notes. Write the, first we have to write the electronic configuration of element in the following order. Okay, we should write the electronic configuration of the element in the following order. The order is like 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, and 3d as a separate group. Next, 4s, 4p as a one group, 4d and 4f as another group. Okay, in the same manner, 5s and 5p as one group. Next, 5d as well as 5f are in the other group. Okay, got it or not? So simply it is the arrangement of these orbitals in differentials. We know the order, but remember that no need to follow n plus L rule. I written simply in the order of shells wise. Third shell contains S, P, D. Fourth shell contains S, P, D, F. But here what is the point we need to remember? That is, we should write the electronic configuration in these groups wise. Okay? In what way group means? S and P as a group. D is present, it is a different group. If F is present, both D and F as a group. Okay? Observe this one. Right? The first rule is we should write the electronic configuration of the element in this following order. Okay? Now, coming to the next one. Here, these rules are somewhat different when the electron is present in S and P orbitals compared to F, D and F orbitals. Okay? First rule is common for any element. Now, when electron present in NS or NP group, means S and P orbitals. Okay? When the electron is present in S and P orbitals, we will follow some rules. If the electron is present in either D or F orbital, then there will be one rule will be different. So that is why while you are writing in the notes, write clearly. Now, so when the electron is present in S or P orbitals, in that case, the electrons in NS and NP group contributes 0.35 each to screening effect. Okay? the electrons in NS and NP group contributes 0.35 each to the screening effect. Okay. So for example, in the S and P orbitals we have 5 electrons. So each contributes 0.35. Okay. So 5 into 0.35. How to calculate everything? We will discuss one or two examples. Okay. Like this it will be difficult to understand. So that is, we will discuss some examples. Then we will get clarity. So first note down the rules. Right. Now coming to the second rule. The electrons in n-1 shell contributes. n-1 shell means what? The last shell is nth shell. From the last second shell, that is known as n-1th shell. Okay. So the electrons in this n-1 shell contributes 0.85 each to the screening effect. Okay. Now, all the electrons in n-2 shell and inner shells contributes 1.0 each to screening effect. Okay. Even before starting the concept, I told you it is not a easy thing to understand. Okay, because to applicate, we should have clarity about the rules. By reading the rules, I hope 90% we don't get clarity. So what is this contribution? How to calculate? So first you note down the rules. We'll, after discussing examples, you 100% will get clarity. Okay. So what is these three rules? The electrons in the NS and NP means in the same orbit, outermost orbit, whatever the electrons are there, all those electrons contributes 0.35 each. Below that outermost orbit, so the n-1th shell, whatever the number of electrons are there, those contributes 0.85. Okay. Now coming to the all the electrons in n-1 shell and the inner shells, below whatever are there, all those contributes 1.0 each to the screening effect. Okay. This is in the case of when the electron is present in S and P orbitals. For example, okay, after this third rule, write one more rule regarding the S and P, that is the electrons present right side of NS or NP group contributes 0. Okay. The electrons which are present at right side. Right side means what? After that. For example, it is easy thing. There are 3 orbits. Okay. For example, you are measuring the screening effect of the electron present in the second orbit. Okay. Is the electrons present in the third orbit will protect this second orbit electron from the nucleus? No. Correct or not? Simple task. For example, the effect of the teacher on the third bench student will be screened by first bench and second bench students, right? Got the logic or not? So the third bench student will be protected from the first bench and the second bench. Can the fourth bench student act as a screen between teacher to the third bench? Foolish it is. Okay. So that is what I given even as a rule. Okay. The electrons present to the right side means after that whatever the electrons you return, that won't contribute towards the screening effect. Okay. Now, when the electron is present in Nd Nf orbitals or simply D or F orbitals. In such cases, the electrons present in that Nd as well as Nf group contributes 0.35 each to the screening effect as like the S and the P electrons. Now coming to the second one, all the electrons present left side of, okay, whatever the electrons are present to the left side of Nd as well as Nf group contributes 1.0 each to screening effect. Okay, so here only two rules. The electrons present in the same subshells, whether Nd or Nf, they contributes 0.35 each. Except these, whatever the inner electrons are there, all those, left side means what? Inner electrons. All those contributes 1.0 each. Okay, so it will be very easy to calculate in the case of when the electron is present in d orbital or f orbital. Okay, compared to s orbital and p orbital. Okay, because in the case of s orbital or p orbitals, we got three rules, but in this case we got only two rules. Okay, so whatever we written as a fourth rule is common in every case. So these are the Slatter's rule. So once go through the rule now, then look at the examples based on this screening constant. Now note down the question. Calculate the Z effective, means effective nuclear charge for valence electron in potassium. Okay, calculate the effective nuclear charge for the valence electron present in the K means what? Potassium, the potassium element. Okay, so first of all, regarding potassium, what we know, its atomic number is how much? 19. The atomic number of potassium is 19, right? Now, to calculate Z effective, we need to measure screening constant. Okay. So first we need to calculate screening constant sigma for the valence electron present in potassium. Okay. So now follow the rules. So first what we need to do for potassium, we need to write the electronic configuration. We already learned how to write electronic configuration. So for 19th element, potassium, how to write electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1. Okay, so this is electronic configuration of potassium, right? According to Slater, we have to write this electronic configuration in terms of groups like this. Okay, so this is the electronic configuration we have to write according to the first rule given by Slater. Now, where is our electron? So it is very clear, our valence electron is present in s orbital. So follow the rules regarding the electron present in s orbital. Now open the notes. Tell me, what is the first rule? What is written as in the first rule? The electrons present in ns np. N means what? Outermost. Okay? Contributes 0.35. Okay? Now tell me, how many electrons are present in outermost one? Okay? Here, you may think there is a one electron, but we are calculating the screening effect of that particular electron. Okay? So that electron cannot be protected from the nucleus itself, right? Whatever the other electrons are there in the atom, those will act as a screen between nucleus and the outermost orbit. Okay? Other than this electron, is any electrons are present in the outermost orbit? No. So the number of electrons which are contributing 0.35 is 0. Now, the electrons present in n minus 1th shell, that is the second rule. Okay, fourth orbit is nth shell, nothing but then the third orbit is n minus 1th shell. The electrons present in n minus 1th shell contributes 0.85, right? This is contributed by nth shell. This is contributed by n minus 1th shell. Okay? How many are there? 2 plus 6. 8 electrons are present. Okay? Now, plus, what about the inner electrons? This is n minus 2 shell and the inner shells. So total how many are there? 4. 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 6, 10. All these inner electrons from n minus 2 shell onwards, all the inner electrons contributes 1.0. Okay? So now finally coming to the sigma. So 0 into this much 0 plus 8 into 0.85. How much it is? So if we calculate 8 into 85, I hope you are able to do fastly. Okay, so we want 0.85, so that is it will be 6.8. Okay, so 6.8 plus 10 into 1.0, 10. So total how much amount? So finally we get sigma value as 10 plus 6.8, 16.8 is the screening constant value. But what they are asking in the question, they are not asking screening constant, they are asking Z effective value, it's effective nuclear charge. Formula what? Z effective is equals to atomic number minus screening constant. Atomic number is 19. Screening constant we calculated it as 16.8. So 19 minus 16.8. So 2.2 is the Z effective value for valence electron in potassium. Okay. So with this example, you got at least you got some clarity how to do. So one more example, if you solve 100%, you will be in the position to solve any question based on effective nuclear charge. Okay, let's focus. Here only you people will confuse, right? So first our task is to write the electronic configuration clearly. Then we have only one valence electron. Okay, so it cannot be protected by any other in the valence shell. So that is why the electrons contributing nth shell is 0. Next, in the n minus inner shell, there are 8 electrons. So they contribute 0.85. All the remaining inner electrons contributes 1.0 each. Okay. So using this Lattice rule, we calculated sigma, nothing but screening constant. Even we know how to calculate Z effective. Okay. Note down. Now coming to the next example. Calculate the screening constant. Okay. Calculate the screening constant for the following electrons. For the following electrons in zinc. Okay. So our second question is calculation of just a screening constant, no need of Z effect. Screening constant for the following electrons. The following electrons are the electron in 3D and the electron in the electron in 4s and the electron in 3D. Okay. So first let us calculate 4s, then we will go for D type. Right? Now coming to the solution. Let us come to the first question. Okay. So for the electron present in the 4s orbital, let us calculate screening constant. So our first task, what? We should write the electronic configuration. What is the electronic configuration of zinc? We know the atomic number of zinc is how much? 30. So if the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2. Right? So this is the electronic configuration of zinc. Okay. Now, according to Slatter's rule, we should write the electronic configuration like these type of groups. Okay? Correct or not? So we should write the electronic configuration in terms of groups like NS and P as well as D and F separate groups. Okay, we have written that. Now, where is our electron? Our electron is present in the s orbital. So the rules are given clearly. Even in the last example we have done. Now let us follow the rules again. Now in this time, how many electrons are present in the nth shell? In the nth shell there are 2. We are finding for 1 electron. So the other electron contributes 0.35. Okay. All these, this is the 4th orbit or 4th shell. All these comes under n minus 1th shell. How many electrons are there in the n minus 1th shell? 2 plus 6, 8 plus 10. So 18 electrons. Somebody may get doubts, sir, why you written 1 electron? Here 2 are there. Okay. So we are finding the sigma for that last electron. Okay. So the only thing the remaining other electron contributes 0.35. Now inner 2 plus 6 plus 10. So 18 electrons. All these contributes 0.85. Okay. Now how many electrons are there in n minus 2 or inner shells? Now all the inner shells contributes 2 plus 2 4 plus 6. So these 10 electrons contributes 1.0. Okay. And calculate total how much. So it is 0.35. So 18 into 0.85. How much it will be? Calculate. 18 into 0.85. Okay. Right? So 18 into 0.85 will be 15.3. So 15.3 plus 10 into 1.0, 10. How much it is? 10 plus 15.3, so it is 25.3. 25.3 plus 0.35. How much it is? 25.65. So the sigma screening constant for zinc, the electron present in 4s orbital of zinc atom is 25.65. Okay? The same rules as like the previous question. Let's go through it. Better you try to solve by your own, then you cross check with the solution. Okay? Now coming to the second question. Now they are asking this time to calculate for the electron in 3D. Okay. All of you listen this carefully. Because in the previous two examples we calculated for the electron in the S and P. Now this time coming to the D orbital. Because the rules are slightly different. Now look at this one. First of all, for zinc atom, what about the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2. So according to Slater, we should write all these in these type of groups. Okay? We already written those in type of groups. Now, our question is for the electron present in 3D. Okay? Now, my question is, what about the electrons present in 4s orbital regarding the screening effect? Okay? So, my question is the electrons in 4s orbital can screen this 3D orbital? 100% no. Because this 3D orbital is present in third orbit. The 4s electrons are present in fourth orbit. Okay? So this is our nucleus. Right? So these inner electrons may act as a screen between nucleus to this outermost orbit. But these electrons which are present right side of this group doesn't contribute anything. Nothing but they contribute 0 towards the screening effect. That is what I given it as a fourth rule. Okay? You check the notes. That time I told you. Right? Now got clarity about the fourth rule or not? So the electrons present to the right hand side of this group contributes nothing, contributes 0 towards the screening effect. Okay? Now Now coming to the calculation of sigma. What you written, Amma? What is the rule regarding this one? These rules are different. Two rules only we have. What is the first rule you written in the notes? The electrons present in Nd or Nf contributes 0.35. How many electrons are there? Can we take 10 electrons? No. We are finding the screening constant for that 10th electron. So how many can screen this one? 9 other remaining electrons can act as a shield because they are continuously revolving around the nucleus. Plus, how many remaining? All the other electrons present to the left hand side. All these. How much? 2, 4, 10, 12, 18. So all these 18 electrons contributes 1.0. Okay. So 9 into 0.35. Okay. If you do it is 10, 3.5. So it will be 3.15. Okay. So 9 into 0.35. That you can cross check later. Now 18 into 1.0, 18. So 18 plus 3, how much it is? 21.15 is the screening constant value for the electron present in a d orbital of zinc atom. Okay. I hope you understood all these. Now you got clarity about this latter's rule. Okay. But keep one point in mind. So generally for NEET level, they are not asking this based on this. But we cannot say they don't ask a question based on this one. We should be ready in the position to solve any level questions. Okay? Okay, we cannot say it is out of the syllabus. Right? It is based on the calculation of effective nuclear charge. Previously they asked in medical entrances, even in KSET also. Okay? So once go through the rules and again once go through the examples. Right? The remaining factors which are affecting ionization potential, let us discuss in the next class. Thank you.